Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Growing up, I had a dream, something no one else could see. Tell me what it means when your faith is falling beneath your knees and you can't breathe. Everything you see reminds you of what you're not or something you won't be. You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians or choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business. Not because they wanna do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor knowing that's how we've been raised? Society is getting heavy, I can feel the weight. The pressure of success is like 100 million pounds of shame. And that's the reason I'm staying up late, trying to find a way to escape the stereotypes this day and age is making me feel like the only way I'll be happy is getting signed to a label and making money through rapping. I wanna share my emotion because this world is attacking the very principle of life that lets the people be happy. If you don't have a reason to breathe, why even live? These battle scars are impressions of everything that it is.
Scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Now, if I had a voice that reached 100 million people, I'd tell them there's a reason that we're all created equal. Cause some decide to be great and some decide a sequel to an average person's life is simply what they want to be. So you make your decision, all I know is what I'm given. Won't define the life I lead or the way I dwell in existence. I've seen a greater image on the walls of where I'm living, and the words twisted and scripted remind me of something written. Faith is a gift that is given down to the people. If one believes it, one receives it. It's given if it is needed. Don't ever think you're trapped in a life that you never wanted. Your options are infinite, that's some mathematical logic. I'm not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers and these battle scars on my church. Not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers, these battle scars on my church.
Scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Well, hello everyone. This is not going to be a very well attended live stream because I count on being able to announce, and hello Anarchy Monkey, I count on being able to announce on YouTube. I mean, derp, Facebook, and hello Julian. And I can't announce on Facebook because I'm on another 7-day ban. Well, not another 7, I'm on another ban, this time 7 days. My last ban was 3 days. Facebook doesn't understand context. They keep dinging me for other people's awful words. So I got, and hello Matthew Butts, I got dinged this time. And hello Fedor, thank you for people showing up just with me posting on YouTube. I posted and everyone's getting their highs. Hey Steven. Yeah, so I posted that threat that unhinged Delta County person made to me, and I got dinged for the threat. Even though I was quoting somebody else, Facebook treated me like I was the one saying those awful words. All of my bans have been for things like that. I got banned one time for defending a Jewish person against anti-Semitism, and they attributed the anti-Semitism to me. I got banned one time for putting a screenshot of this terrible misogynistic email I got on my secretary email, and I got dinged for it. So now I'm on a 7-day ban because somebody else threatened me. Good job, Facebook. Good job. You might be getting a message from me on my alt account because I think I just need to set up my alt account with a lot of my friends so that when these things happen, whatever, you know, So I wasn't able to post this notice on Facebook. So a lot of people do not know I'm live, though you guys should know. So here's the thing then. Subscribe and hit notifications, because I apparently am going to be banned from Facebook regularly, it appears. So if you have your notification bell thingy on there, you'll know when I'm going live on Facebook. So I decided today, since I didn't really have much else planned, we were going to do shit Statists Say from some older Facebook posts that I can't respond to. So I'm going to respond to here because I can't respond to on Facebook. But before we do that, I wanted to show you guys this. And it is one of my patrons who I promote because they are, I don't only promote them because they're one of my patrons. This is actually a great channel that does not have nearly enough subscribers. So right here, we got Daniel 3, Biblical Anarchy. Now, you don't need to be a religious person to enjoy this channel, because you'll learn something no matter what. But check it out. Today, earlier, he had a 2-hour discussion on pacifism. I haven't watched this yet, but I am intrigued. And you can see here, he had the stream before, Angela McCardle, a great interview. James from Blackbird. I mean, look at all these. You got Shane Hazel. Subscribe to this channel and check it out. He deserves far more subscribers than he has, and he supports this show, which obviously I'm very, very grateful to have that. So that is my promo for today, at least as far as that's concerned. Very quickly, there's my Patreon. If you feel like supporting me, or you can, I don't want to suggest that those who can't don't feel like it. Times are tough, hon. I get it. Times are rough. Totally get it. But if you can, I truly appreciate it. And man, I just think of what I could do if I didn't have to, because I did work it out with that one job. So I am now starting again August 30th, but it doesn't pay very much, but it has less stress, which is good, because I need that right now. I had another weird, thank you so much for subscribing to him, Fedor. But I wanted to give you like a kind of idea of what I do when I don't have to work a day job. So today I started working on setting up an End the Damn Wars protest down in Denver, and working with Free Julian Assange Denver that will assist with that. And then I started plotting out the timeline for next year's petitioning to get RCV on the ballot in Castle Rock, and plotting out a press release to protest the 4 tax measures that the Castle Rock Town Council decided they were just going to put on the ballot, even though they wouldn't put RCV on the ballot. And I spent a ton of time today working on Elpedia, and also on something that I can't tell you yet, but something that I hope you guys will be pleased about coming out of the national office. For once, I'm very happy about something coming out of the national office. So I spend all day doing Liberty. So if you do support me in this channel, it actually redounds out to all this other various Liberty work that I do. But enough of that. Let's get on to shit Statists Say, shall we? I haven't looked at these posts in a while. They actually came through during my first ban, and then I was such boomer withdrawal from Facebook that I didn't go back to it. And then when I was ready to go back to it, I woke up this morning to another ban. And I had another psycho today. What is it with the LP and psychos? Like, the best people and the worst people are in the LP, I swear. I can't divulge any more details, but there was another psycho email, just accusing me of something that was made up out of whole cloth. I mean, literally delusional, made up out of whole cloth. Okay, I don't know what to do sometimes. Again, the best people and the worst people in the world. But let's just go right on to shit Statists Say. I'm going to share my screen. First thing that's going to come up is that Daniel 3 channel, but we'll slide on over to YouTube. To Facebook. Oh, did I share my screen? Yes, I did. Okay, here we go. This one should be fun. I haven't even looked at what people said, because I posted here and then I got banned. Let me get rid of I don't want Messenger. Here we go. Perfect. So, Freedom Works. I should have known better. There's all kinds of neocon, boomercons over there at FreedomWorks. FreedomWorks has some good stuff, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of boomercons that post there. So here's the post. Comparing Tamira Mensah, I apologize if I'm pronouncing names wrong. You guys know I'm terrible at names. With Megan Rapinoe, is that? So Megan, apparently, she's the white lady on the bottom. She took a knee during the awards ceremony, and the black lady up on top with the wonderfully joyful face. I mean, looking at her, I mean, get rid of the flag thing because I'm not into like flags, but just looking at her face, she makes me smile. She's just so joyful. And if that's all it was talking about, yeah, the lady on the bottom certainly looks like a sourpuss. She don't look very happy, and the lady up on top looks jubilant. But of course, what was going on here, and I absolutely want your guys' input. You know that's what I'm all about. I'm all about audience participation. So if it was just about the way one lady just looks like she sucked a lemon and the other lady looks like somebody you would want to hang out with because she's happy, that isn't what this post is about. It's about, you know, being very, very ass mad if somebody isn't just like an on fire patriot, you know. So for whatever reason, obviously FreedomWorks viewers, the post didn't actually say this. It insinuated, well, actually the post did say it didn't. Be like her and not like her. Okay. Kind of insinuating that it's never appropriate to protest your country or to not show the utmost in patriotism. Now, I don't know what either of these two ladies' deals is. I'm not an Olympics person. But I saw this post and, you know, you see the mischievous look on my face. I couldn't help it. It's a sickness. So here I am. There's 89 reactions. I said, I don't worship the state. And when I said that, there was the "re" that was heard throughout the boomercon sphere. I knew what was going to happen. Okay, I was trolling. I'll admit it, I was trolling. But it's true, I don't worship the state. And in another post on the same thread, I made it clear that my reasoning isn't strictly political. I do have a political reasoning now, but I stopped, for those of you who don't know my story, I stopped doing the patriotic thing. I don't stand for the pledge. I don't sing worship songs to the state, but it has very little to do with my politics and nearly everything to do with my faith. It just struck me one day how absolutely idolatrous it is to do that for a Christian. And I discovered that there's a long tradition of conscientious abstainers from state rituals in faith communities, not just Christianity, but my community obviously is Christianity. So my decisions have nothing to do with political protests, though now maybe it does a little bit, but I started abstaining from state worship rituals about 5 years before I was a libertarian. Okay? So just wanted to give you that background. So let's see. Most relevant is selected. So how do I select all replies? Because we're just going to go through this. And we'll see. Oh, most relevant. So I want all, right? All comments. And let's view. It looks like somebody invited me to a group chat. I wonder what that was about. I don't even know who that person is. Maybe it's somebody I know. Let's see. Okay, here we go. First comment. Matt Bishop says, "Spoiled white chick reaping the benefits of America while shitting in its hat. Not a good look." Well, okay. I'm not particularly spoiled, but thank you. And if America is truly free, this is going to be a continual theme here. Shouldn't I have the freedom not to worship the state? So not a good look. I think it's actually a decent look to exercise my freedom. What is freedom for if it's not to exercise it? So immediately this person, interestingly, is this a white guy or is this a minority? Let's take a look. Well, white guy. Okay. Interesting. I always find it interesting when white people call other people white people. Like, it's just weird. It's like, dude, like, I don't know. It's like the great white savior thing, you know? Like, okay, you're just a spoiled white chick reaping the benefits of America while shitting in its hat. All you heard from me is I don't worship the state. You know absolutely nothing else about me. And then a friend, apparently. I don't know this. Is this person a friend of mine? Yeah, we are friends. I got 5,000 friends. I'm so sorry I don't recognize everybody. So, Karen Ann Harless, wow, there's a lot of status on your thread. Well, you say you don't worship the state, and that's like a statist magnet. And this is funny. Not what America is. Sorry, you were a victim of public education. Actually, the worshiping the state is what I learned in public education. But not what the state? America is a state, person. So I find it interesting that you're correcting me on what America is, and I can only assume you're saying it's not a state, because otherwise your comment is incomprehensible, and it is, yet slamming my education. Irony. Let's see. Did I respond to this? I don't think I did. Okay. This is a person defending Megan. Yeah, this is funny. LOL, you don't even know what the definition of a state is. Talk about low information. That's what I was saying. I'm glad somebody else interpreted it the way I did. He didn't know that America is actually a state, and then said, sorry, you were a victim of public education. All right. That was awkward. Awkward. Okay. Oh, boy. Oh, and he's insulting somebody who's Canadian. Oh, boy. I just love these patriots that just think they need to insult everybody who disagrees with them. I want to make sure I have the names right here. Okay, so Patrick Keane is defending Megan. So he's not one of the statists on this. He might be a statist another way, but not in this thread. Janice, don't confuse pride with worship. We can worship God and be proud of our country and the athletes who represent us. Okay, Janice, that was actually a respectful comment. I disagree with you, but I'm not going to slam you. I happen to disagree. I know plenty of Christians who disagree, but I do think this is idolatry. And I'm very proud of a lot of my countrymen. I'm not proud of my country. My country's done a lot of hideous shit. Julian, I did too. That's why I laugh. I used to say a bunch of stupid shit when I was into the state, man, when I wasn't a libertarian. Even when I stopped doing the state rituals, I still said a lot of statist shit. Because again, I wasn't a libertarian at that time. But Janice, I'm going to leave her alone. We just have a legitimate difference of opinion. And F. Michael Lewis, really? Yes, really, F. Michael. And it's Karen with a C. I'm a Karen in camouflage, just so you know. But that's not really an answer. And actually, I think most, I mean, I don't know. Like, there's so many different varieties of Karen. I guess there's the leftist Karen who might agree with Megan in that picture. But most Karens I find are like, these colors don't run, you know? So, not so sure that fits. Oh my God. Check this guy out. Oh, this is deranged. Karen Ann Harless, you are right to not worship the state. Thank you. And I'm going to add, only your God deserves your worship. Thank you. You're correct. Respect for your employer is earned. The USA is the employer. Okay, it's their employer. Okay, at first I thought he was trying to say the USA employed me. The USA is the employer in this case. No, I wouldn't exactly say that. That is from stolen money. If you want to actually try to drill back to the employer, it would be the people the money was stolen from. But it also says respect for your employer is earned. So he seems to agree if the employer in this case, if you want to pretend it's the USA, didn't earn Megan's respect, apparently. A lot of people died defending the USA. True. And you can respect them. That's true. But I don't think respecting the state respects them. I think exercising your conscience is the most respectful thing you can do for people who truly believed and gave their lives because they thought they were defending liberty. The absolute most respect you can do for them is to exercise your liberty, to use that which you claim they fought for. Okay? It's representing the ideals of personal freedom and liberty we stand for, not the state. Absolutely disagree. It's the state. And what ideals of personal freedom? You mean the personal freedom to be bullied by the state into injecting your body with some vaccine in order to live a life? Do you mean it's the personal freedom of the lockdowns? Is it the personal freedom of the fact that the state decides it owns my body, so it's going to put me in a rape cage if I decide that I want to put something in my body that is not on the state-approved list? We left freedom behind a long time ago, Kathy. You need to open your eyes to it. Just because we do have some freedoms, like I'm particularly proud of one freedom. I am proud that I can still tell Biden to go fuck himself on Twitter. I do appreciate that freedom. There are people in some countries that can't do that, but that doesn't mean we're free just because we have some. I think you're looking at it in a very narrow view. No, Kathy, I think you are. The state implies a very different situation. No, this is a state. Okay. Do you, Kelly, do you respectfully acknowledge freedom and liberty for everyone equally? Yes. If so, then stand. No, because it's my freedom not to. You just contradicted yourself. I am not a proud citizen. I don't agree with the whole concept of citizenship to begin with. It looks like you've openly stated your declaration. I have. My declaration is loyalty to the individual. Because you're either an American or you're an un-American anti-American. I just love black and white world. So what should be done to us un-American anti-Americans, Kelly? I'm against the state. I'm not against my fellow Americans. I'm for them. I'm for them in a big way. Well, she's a Karen, so, fair point. You're a Tom, so. It's not worship, it's called respect. Sorry, my religious convictions say otherwise. It's called respect for the people that died so you could choose to be what you want. So you bully me into not doing what I want, even though you're claiming you're respecting the people that allegedly died for me to be able to say exactly what I said. It sounds like you listened to one too many socialist preaching college professors. I had no socialist college professors. I actually didn't get a useless degree. I got a degree in which we just actually worked in learning a profession. And I didn't have any socialist college professors. I had paralegals and lawyers who taught me how to be a paralegal. So assumptions will get you in a bad place. And I came to this from religion, not from politics. Karen Ann Harlos appears she worships herself. I worship myself more than I worship the state. That's true. I see you're trying to stir things up. You think? Trolling. What about starting from respecting yourself? I do. That's why I don't worship the state. Keep your respect, ideologies, and agendas to yourself. No, thank you. Are you telling the little lady to keep her mouth shut? Learn to appreciate values. I do. I appreciate the value of me to follow my own convictions. The land and the commodities you have living in the USA. I do appreciate that. It has nothing to do with worshiping the state. We would have more commodities and greater prosperity, but for the state. You are so spoiled. and bad intended. I'm spoiled and bad intended. Okay. I destroyed all good values in the world. So if you don't worship the state, you are the font of all evil. It's interesting. If you have any problems, I love this. I love this. If you have any problems with patriotism, move somewhere else. If you don't exercise your freedom in the way I think you should move away, because that's freedom. Respect is different than worship. Yeah, but that's worship. No one does. Oh, plenty of people do. I should have pulled up the picture of that lady with that weird when she was like, well, she was worshiping Trump at the same time, but was whole draped with the flag thing. But we respect the men and women that died to give us our freedom. Nobody gives you your freedom, Terry. You are born inherently with the right to be free. Nobody died to give you your freedom. And nothing recently in the unfortunate deaths of people have made you more free. It's made you less free. And I respect the people that died under false pretenses from the state enough to be able to educate other people for it. I do respect them. I believe that they were doing something they believed was noble, and they were brave. Respecting is not, well, so say you. All right, here, let me explain. Oh, is Kelly a man or a woman? Because I want to know if I'm being mansplained to. Oh, Kelly is going to mansplain to me. Thank you, Kelly. Let's see. He's going to mansplain. Here, let me explain how it works with such things as respect and personal thoughts and flags and patriotism and religion and civil citizenry. I don't pledge allegiance to anything. That is religious God worship. When you pledge allegiance to something, Christians are only supposed to pledge allegiance to Christ. And particularly when you stand there with your hand over your heart, that is so idolatrous. You cannot separate America from its good citizens who are respectful to one another. Live and let live, though you're not happy to let me just not worship the state. You, the others, are the heathens. Oh, it's just so American to otherize other people who don't agree with you, isn't it? That's just lovely. Oh, good grief. Okay. The best loser I've ever known. Well, I'm glad I'm the best loser rather than the worst loser. Oh, Jean. I wish I could respond. You are right. Worship nothing but God. But do you realize what we would have without the state? Anarchy. Look it up. I have. I've looked it up in great detail, Jean. You don't want that. I assure you, Jean, I most certainly do. He thought he was going to shock me. Karen Ann, if without the state, we would have anarchy. Yeah, we would. You make me sad. Your little badge says you believe in truth and justice. So obviously you are not a Democrat or progressive. You're correct. I'm a libertarian. Who said anything about worshiping the state? You can call it something else, but it is what it is. Oscar, get out then! You don't agree with me! Get out! Oh, God, I just love Statists telling me to get... No thank you, Oscar. Your state's the one that sucks. Why don't you get out? Your hair explains everything we need to know. It smells like collectivism, doesn't it? Oh, let's take a look here. Well, he's a cute-looking guy. I'm not going to rag on him. He looks like a cutie pie. Okay, Anthony, I'm sorry, but I'm married anyway, so I won't cry that you don't want to date me. But you worship a man named Trump. Don't you love the way people make these assumptions? That's the most funny thing to me. No, Sanchito. It's possible to not worship the state and not also be a Trumpian. Actually, most Trumpians worship the state. So I think you're a bit confused. Without the state, there's only anarchy and chaos. Well, there's anarchy. Anarchy's not equivalent to chaos. There could be chaos. There's chaos with the state, my dude. Look around. Good to bring order to chaos. Men is meant to be ruled. My sweet summer child. One day, I really hope you taste freedom. Facts. Okay. Me either, but to kneel shows your stank. Well, I don't kneel. I never really understood that either. I suppose there's probably some history behind that form of protest. But, okay. I don't kneel either, so I guess I don't stank. That's good to know. Respect the country that sent you. Oh, they're talking about them. I was going to say the country didn't send me anywhere. Made a star of you. Well, I would say their individual achievements made a star of them, and the country is milking them. There's a mutually beneficial whoring relationship going on there. If you don't appreciate that, don't go. Not a big Olympics person, but I think if someone is an athlete and then they choose to use their body in that way to protest, they have every single right to do it. You are a clown. Okay, Christopher. And you are apparently a dog. Okay. You're not worth a reply. But yet, grammar Nazi, you're apostrophe R-E. Please, if you're going to insult me, at least use proper grammar. Okay, Jerry, but yet you did reply. Interesting. And he edited this. Oh my God, can we see how he edited it? The same, okay. I don't understand his first reply here. The same freedom at 4:50. And then apparently his brain got out of whatever malfunction it was having right there. Or he just got so confused by his own post that he, in frustration, said a minute later, "You're not worth a reply. You're Y-O-U-R." Okay. But you're the one with a furry avatar. Okay. Alrighty. Then be sure not to accept any money or services from the state and really show them. So you get paid off to worship them? All right. You worship... Oh, somebody please remind me. Please remind me. I want to, when I'm not on Facebook ban, I want to change, like, up in my description to say I worship lesbian idiots and degenerates. Please remind me. Because Alex says, I don't know where he got this from, but his creativity gets an A+. I worship lesbian idiots and degenerates. I want to copy this. Hold on. I want to screenshot this. This is the best comment ever. I worship lesbian idiots and degenerates. Perfect. Okay. We are the state, self-government and all that. You can't be possibly that deluded, Tim. So, if you ever get pulled over and thrown in jail, is that you doing it to yourself? Sherry, of course you don't. Insinuating that I do. Okay. Alex just says my name, and I don't know why. Dump a Post of the Day award goes to you. I won something. Thank you. Oh, let me thank... I'd like to thank my mother, my father, and all my fans. I couldn't have won this award without you. Pity. It's a pity I don't worship the state. Okay. The state and the U.S. are different things. You know that meme? Tell the difference between these two things, and the lady's like, they're the same thing? Yeah, they're the same thing. No one worships it. We respect what it stands for. Freedom. Okay. Didn't Jesus say, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's? But what is Caesar's is not worship. If we were talking about coins here, I could see your point. But Caesar did demand worship, and Jesus never said to worship Caesar. The women's soccer team, okay, I dealt with that. The women's soccer team does make more than the men's, actually. Yet you seem to have, okay, let's see how this follows. Yet you seem to have no problems dyeing your hair neon pink to signal conformance to others in the tribe while attempting to profess independent though. I think you're confusing who my tribe is. And I said nothing about conformance. I could be the most conforming person in the world and still not worship the state. Being proud of your country, I'm proud of my countrymen. Isn't the same as worshiping the government. The flag represents the country, not the government. Ah, contraire, mon frere. It's called respect, of which you know nothing about. Okay? No one here really cares. Apparently you cared enough to comment, Mike. You cared enough to comment. That's disputable, Elastic, but because it's disputable, I gotcha. But I still don't think Jesus would be saying to worship Caesar. Just another ingrate. You got that right, baby. And I worship lesbian idiots and degenerates, just so you know. So you worship socialist tyrants instead? No, get it right. I worship lesbian idiots and degenerates. Didn't you read earlier? Keep up. Try to keep up. I'm sure your brother, just like some of my relatives who served, would be very my brother didn't serve. And if anybody who served was disappointed in me exercising my freedom, I think they missed the point. Seems your view isn't appreciated here. That's the fact. Yep, you're correct. Be proud you're American. No, I'm... just... Okay. So what country do you prefer to live in? None. Leave the country you do not like. That is just so lovely. You don't agree with me, leave. It's called, you know, people are really into this respect thing. Okay. I don't particularly respect the state either. So I guess I could change that opening post to I don't respect the state. Okay. From those 5 words, it tells so much about you. You do, however, worship the Democrats and their communist beliefs. Those, how many words here? I don't know. I don't want to count how many words. Those 15 words or so, Vivian, tell so much about you. Because the funny thing is, if anyone even just hovered over my profile, they could see right away that I'm a libertarian, if they even know what that is. Because it says it like right up front and center. And if any of them looked even down a little bit, they would figure out that I'm one of those evil anarchists. Truly clueless, or is it just an act? I'm going to leave that for you to figure out. If you don't like it here, you know the answer. Get out! Oh, it's just so precious. Why should I leave? You're the one who sucks. Crawl back in your hole, you dimwit. Okay. Oh, I just love the way the patriots insult. Ah, somebody who finally knows that I'm a libertarian. The Libertarian Party has been hijacked by liberals. I'm not a liberal. It no longer represents its original values. Out of most people who are qualified to talk about what the original values of the Libertarian Party is, I think you've met your match, Mr. Bruce. Most people don't know that. I guarantee you, I've forgotten more about the Libertarian Party than you know. I could be wrong. You could be one of the founders. and I could be talking out my ass. But I think the odds are in my favor. My brother used to be a libertarian, okay, who schooled me on this, and he's absolutely correct. Okay. I didn't say I supported Megan. I just said I don't worship the state. You can always leave this wonderful country. So could you. You are a confused person. We are not a state. We are a country. You know, political education in this country could use some work. I'm just going to leave that alone. A socialist post. The state, not a country. Poli-sci 101, people. So in other words, you don't kneel when they play the anthem like Rapaho. No, I don't kneel and I don't stand. Vicky, I don't hate my country. I don't hate my country either. Somebody actually looked at my profile. I will give Charles credit because he saw that where it said how to pronounce my name, I put anarchist. We live in the greatest country in the world. Of course, this great country has problems. We're working on them. No, you're working on making them worse. Not you in particular, but yeah. So get off your damn knee. I don't do the knee thing. It's people like you who make me and others who serve feel sorry. So, you fought for the freedom to agree with you? Or did you fight for the freedom to enjoy the freedoms? Because I'm enjoying whatever limited freedom I have. I worship being a nutbag. That I do, my friend, along with lesbian idiots and degenerates. Nice hair, by the way, so natural. Maybe it's Maybelline. Marks you as a cuckoo. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Nobody takes you seriously. Well, some people actually do. You look like a clown. Okay. Let's see what you look like. I can't really tell there. But you might be a cutie pie. The last guy who said it looked like a clown was a cutie pie. Laughing. Puking. You are a pathetic... I'm not a man. You are a pathetic, ignorant, disrespectful little man. Hold on. I've had to do this before. Nope. I've got any. Still, I didn't grow a penis. Little or otherwise. Okay. Join crew. What do you think that's about? What do you think that group chat on Telegram was about? That's only a day ago. Should I check it out? I don't have Telegram on this computer. But I tell you what, I'm going to copy this. And I am going to later check out what this Telegram thing is. And I'll report back to you guys. Let me just stick it in notes here. And I'll let you know what that Telegram's about. Okay. I figured it would be a lot of move to Somalia. And it was. But I did find out something about myself, which was very interesting. And that's that I worship lesbian idiots and degenerates. Which seems to imply that lesbian idiots aren't degenerates. The lesbian idiots will be either very glad or very disappointed to hear that, depending. Just saying. All right, let's go to this one. So Senator Tammy Baldwin, a public official, says, Wisconsin has played a leading role in establishing Social Security 86 years ago. I wouldn't brag about that. And it has helped provide economic security for millions of Americans. It's a promise that we must always work to keep because the dignity of a secure retirement is essential to working families. So I said, we will force you to retire properly and steal from you to do it. 219 reactions. That's not as good as my one where I just said the state for something that's an invention that does more harm than good. I got 3,000 and something reactions on that. 2 words. So 219 is not too shabby, but it's nowhere near what I've gotten before. So I need to up my trolling game. I think that was the high point of my trolling game. So, oh crap, what happened? I wanted all comments and... Well, shit, I lost my comment. Here we go. Alrighty. So let's see. So I didn't get many replies. I got a lot of reactions. So I said, we'll force you to retire properly and steal from you to do it. So let's see. Oh, and this is all, I did a bunch of responses. So let's go to the bottom. Karen Ann Harlos, I would hate to live in the selfish, everyone for themselves nightmare of a world that you would create. Okay. And my responses aren't underneath him because I think I posted up here. Well, let's just, some of my, these responses will probably go to many different things. So here's my multiple responses. Asking you not to coerce other people is basic morals. I find it pretty sick you think that good deals require force. Good deeds require force. That says more about you than anyone else. And then somebody told me I needed to get an education. We'll find that one. So I said, oh dear me. Mansplaining to the National Secretary of the Libertarian Party that she must be uneducated because she doesn't agree with you. Sexism much? I do that a lot with lefties. I like to point out that they're talking down to a woman. I just get a lot of joy in doing that. And I also said, you don't get to steal or force people without their consent. That doesn't make you a good person. And a lot of people agreed with me here. Such as Travis and Ivan and Jonathan. Oh, here's the person who said I was uneducated. Oh, no, it's not. This is a lady. It was a guy who said I was uneducated. It was and is good enough for literally every American who has received it for nearly a century. Somehow you know better. Let me guess. You researched it. Okay. I said to her, it's still theft. And have you interviewed literally every American? Because she told me it was good enough for literally every American. Okay. And a few other libertarians jumped in. You have a very childish definition of stealing. Actually, I said, it's the simplest definition of all. I don't consent. We have a special word for violating consent of women. I love just like doing that to leftists. Oh, here's the educate yourself. What nonsense, educate yourself. And that's when I told him, yeah, mansplaining to me? How is wanting to keep one's own money and invest it wisely rather than have it taken from them in the government to invest it selfish? True. So a bunch of libertarians jumped in here, which is great. So I'm not going to be roasting the libertarians. There's a lot of libertarians. You are very good at pointing out your own needs. Perhaps we should change the system to accommodate you. Well, if it means to not steal from me, yeah, perhaps you should, because you don't get to steal from other people. And those who think themselves smart enough to handle their own retirement. So the government is smart. Do they even read what they write? But what about those who don't save? They're irresponsible. Or those who experience catastrophic circumstance. That is unfortunate, and hopefully people will step in, but you still do not get to steal from people. What if your best plans fail? It happens, and that's what family and charity is for, not stealing from other people. Should we step over you in the street in disgust and ignore you, as if that is what would happen? See, this guy doesn't realize he obviously cares that people shouldn't be in the street. And unless he thinks he's better than everybody else, most other people care too. We don't disagree about a problem. What we're disagreeing about is a solution. And leftists often make it like we're disagreeing on the problem when all we're disagreeing on is the solution. Okay. So that was not as entertaining as the other one, but I'm very proud of libertarians for jumping in, and it's probably not all libertarians. Plenty of people see Social Security for the Ponzi scheme that it is. But, you know, as a politician, being proud of it, and we have to work to preserve it. What about consent is unclear to you, lady? What about it? Let's go back to my main screen here. But there's something very interesting here that we see in these comments, not in the state worship one. That was just more fun. The Social Security one was a bit more serious, was actually a bit more political. That is the great lie of democracy. Because you're given the illusion of voting, you create an illusion as if there's consent because we voted on it. And that's what's so insidious about democracy. That it layers things with this veneer of fake consent and fake legitimacy. I know people get shocked because today it's almost like it's blasphemy to say you don't support democracy. That doesn't mean that I think tyranny is better or that I think dictators are better. I'm just dealing with democracy. It might be better than some other system. That doesn't mean it's good. You know, dog shit might taste marginally better than cat shit, but they're both still shit. Okay, well, I think that is it for this evening. I probably will continue to do a few more shit Statists Say. If I go a trolling, if I go a slumming in the waters again. So it was a little bit of a variety. I went and trolled on like a pro-leftist post, and I went and trolled on a boomercon. I will say the boomercons are much more vitriolic, at least in that case. They're always very much like very defensive when you say you do not worship their God. They can't just go, okay, well, you know, you would hope that conservatives would say, well, you want to know what? We have a free country. You're free to do that. I think you're kind of a shithead for doing that, but it's your freedom to do that. That would be like what you would hope conservatives would say. That's your freedom. I don't like how you're using your freedom, but it's your freedom. But instead, they're like, get out! You have the freedom to agree with me, or get the fuck out. Move to Somalia. Say to you, move to North Korea if you love the state so much. They got a lot of it over there. But yes, as some people said in comments, I'm laughing because I do see a lot of myself in that. I used to say a lot of dumb stuff. I think very few of us are second-generation libertarians. So, and plenty of us, even if we were, I mean, we say plenty of dumb stuff as libertarians too. Don't get me wrong. We're not immune. Human beings just amuse me in general, and we haven't escaped from being human beings. So I laugh kind of self-consciously in a way because I could see myself in my youth maybe saying stuff like that. Now I realize like how silly, how absolutely silly it is. And yeah, the BoomerCon god. Yeah, I don't know if that is the state or Trump. True enough. True enough. And I probably used to say all drugs should be illegal. I don't really recall that being a big issue for me, but I'm sure I made those kinds of arguments. I tend to be a bit argumentative, if you haven't noticed, so I'm sure I've said stuff like that. I know I used to argue to make certain... I know I argued against making sex work illegal. I argued for making sex work illegal. I used to be very much... on the sex negative protest side. I need to pull out this old protest picture. I've always been a street protester. I used to protest gentlemen's clubs, to put it in the vernacular. Yeah, the titty bars. I used to protest them. I have a picture of me standing out in front of the dollhouse of Pompano Beach with a sign that says pornography hurts women. No lie. But I had the cutest little pink polka dot jumper on. I wish I still had that jumper. It was so adorable. But yeah, I used to protest titty bars. That's pretty stupid. Anyway, I am going to be off. I need to work on some LP stuff. I need to work on LPedia. I've just got all kinds of things to do. I thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you have an awesome night. Bye-bye.
You're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a